Welcome back, folks, to the Mailrite Show. This is episode 205. Yes, my beloved listeners and viewers, the episodes are just disappearing. We've got a really fantastic special guest here. I've been trying to get her on the show for a while, and she's been gracious enough to actually come on the show, and that's Susan Zimmerman. And she is the queen of Instagram, I would say. Sue, would you like to quickly introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers?
Sure. Hey guys, how are you? I am here in beautiful, on beautiful Cape Cod. This is the shape of the Cape right here. For those of you that are like, what Cape Cod? I'm in Massachusetts, and I'm in Falmouth Heights, which is right there at the end of the elbow of the arm, and that's all made with sea glass. And a little fun fact about Sue B is I am obsessed with collecting old vintage bottles. That's the only thing I collect, and there's something about old glass bottles that just make me happy. So I'm here at my house on the Cape, and I live here all summer. And when I'm not here on Cape Cod, I'm in downtown Boston, living right in the heart of the city and in all of its glory. So if you detect a Boston accent, that would be me.
Oh, there you go. And I've got my great co-host, Robert. Robert, would you like to quickly introduce yourself to the new listeners and viewers?
If I must. So I am the founder of inboundrem.com, which is a website that focuses on teaching real estate professionals on how to do inbound marketing, which is more commonly referred to as SEO. And we specialize in lead generation, and I founded a service company after I founded the blog. But mostly, if you're going to check something out, check out the blog and get some good advice on how to do SEO for real estate.
Oh, that's great. So I've seen you on other podcasts. You're always up for a good chat, and you give good advice. So we're aimed at real estate agents that are like in their second, third year, and they're looking to build their business, and they know about Instagram, but they just don't really know how to get started with it. So if you're in their shoes, what would be some of your first steps in trying to use this amazing platform?
Yeah, so I'm going to actually share with you in the chat a resource that I would love for you to share with your listeners, because this will get everyone off to the right start if they're here for business. SueBZimmerman.com/guide is a 8-page guide that you guys can grab, where I really help you set up the foundational knowledge that you need to have on Instagram if you're going to use it strategically and really work with the algorithm and not against it. And when I say that, Instagram now is a place where you can amplify, promote, and broadcast yourself as a real estate agent. And there's 4 different neighborhoods that you can do this in. I like to call this the Sue B 4 neighborhoods, and think of the analogy I like to give is to think of Instagram as a village, and that people are hanging out in different neighborhoods on Instagram now that there's so many different places to create that content. And it's your job as a content creator to understand where your potential buyer is hanging out and consuming content. And more importantly, what kind of content are you sharing that would actually attract someone to purchase from you? And if you're a real estate agent, you need to really think about what makes you different than everybody else doing what you're doing in the area that you're doing it. And everyone has different aspects to their personality and their energy and their experience and their niche area as a real estate agent. Maybe it's you give amazing customer service, or you handhold your customers and physically take them and tour them to every place they want to see, which is kind of crazy these days now that we have the internet and you can look at drone videos and all that good stuff. But nevertheless, it's really important for you to determine and establish how you're different than every other real estate agent in your area, especially since it's so competitive. And with that comes the understanding of creating content in these different areas. And when you think of Instagram, obviously you think of the feed first, because that's how it all started, was with the feed. And when I started teaching Instagram marketing 7 years ago, the feed, there was 140 million monthly active users on Instagram, and now there's over 1 billion. And Instagram's goal is to keep you on the app as long as possible. That's how they make their money, by the ads that are shown to the right people that are being targeted. And so when you think about Instagram, especially as a beginner, and real estate agents often make this mistake, they're mixing their personal life, too much of their personal life, with their professional career as a real estate agent, and it's confusing. So when you're creating content in your feed, you want to let people know immediately when they land on that they can understand who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how long you've been doing it. And with that comes putting all of that information in your bio. Your bio is essentially your website. People are going to Instagram more to find and search different products, services, businesses, and there is SEO in your bio on Instagram. And a lot of real estate agents don't understand this, don't do it. They miss out and they make mistakes with the subtitle. They put their name, they don't put where they're selling their property, they don't put the niche of what they're doing, and you're really losing out. So mistake number one for real estate agents is they don't have a bio that sets them apart from everyone else. Number two is their avatar is a logo and not their smiling face. Because let's face it, people want to do business with people. Even if you have a team or a firm, I've seen a great avatar with a team of 5. When I spoke at a real estate conference recently in New York, I just commended those companies that often lead with the people behind the business and not hide from being the face of the business. And so people want to connect with you and you alone, especially as a real estate agent. They're really, you're coming to them typically because you were referred, or they've met you in line at Starbucks and you handed out your cards 3 years ago and they remembered you and now they're coming back to you. So I will take a pause because I could talk for hours. I just want to make sure that your listeners are receiving this information. And I'm just going to recap quickly that your avatar, your profile photo should absolutely be your smiling face. Unless you're a team, it should be your team, and it should not be your logo. No one wants to do business with a logo. Your bio should really say who you are, what you do it, how long you've been doing it, and what makes you that go-to real estate agent in your area. And then separately, the feed, and then we'll move into the other neighborhoods of Instagram. But your feed should essentially be the promise that you're making in your bio. So think of this as a digital magazine. The cover that you promise on that magazine and what you turn inside that magazine is essentially the feed. And the reason that your feed needs to be fabulous is because that lives on forever. And that is essentially the way that you establish yourself as a go-to expert or influencer, right?
Oh, I just love it. And I love the hat as well. Do you think I need a hat, Susan?
I have about 50 to 100 fedoras. And when I'm on the Cape, I hate it when my hair is in my face. And it's part of my signature style. I love hats. It's actually in my bio on my personal account that I'm obsessed with hats. So
I might have to get some hats. Robert, got a question for Sue?
Okay, I do, but I think she's going to cover it because my question right now is fairly basic. But Sue, I'm curious to know. So you let everybody have a great amount of information, but a question that I feel from a lot of my clients is, do you create a personal Instagram account or a business account? Because you have choices now.
Oh, absolutely business, hands down. If you're here for business, you want to make sure that you have all those business features, which are, your contact information, the insights that you have, the ability to do ads, and the fact that you can do quick reply. If you're on Instagram and you don't have a business account, that would be the first thing that you do when you get off this call, is to turn it into a business account.
Okay.
That's right.
The first thing you do when you stop listening to the podcast, or you rewind the podcast and you listen to it, so on and so forth.
Yeah. I'm training him, seriously. The other big thing is about video. I just think it's, real estate. People are fascinated by real estate, aren't they, Sue? And videos growing on Instagram. You got any insights or advice about how agents should use video on that medium, that platform?
Yes, definitely. Video is in all 4 neighborhoods now. The feed, you can do video, stop and go video right in the Instagram app. You can upload a video up to a minute. You can add video clips to a carousel post where there's actually 10 you can add 10 clips to that. So you could have a long video. I know a lot of real estate agents that do tours of the home or drone videos, and you really can take people behind the scenes of a piece of property by using video. Video is everything from your face on it to your property on it. And so in the feed, you can do videos. In stories, you can do videos. On an IGTV, obviously that's all video. And then there's the fourth neighborhood, Instagram Live.
All right. That was a lot. So we're kind of aimed at beginners starting with this. If you were starting out, which of those 4 areas would you start off with your video outreach?
Definitely in stories. Stories, in my opinion, is where most people are enjoying hanging out now. Stories are basically what TV was in the 1950s. It's a broadcast channel, and you can choose whether it's video, whether it's an image or a graphic, and you can have continuous video in your stories. And the really cool thing about stories for real estate agents especially is that you can save any of that content and share it into a highlight. So for those of you that are sharing your property in your feed that you're selling and you write sold, like, no one cares that you sold property. That's not what they're there for. They're not there to see how much what you're doing. They're there to find out about property that they want to buy. Wow. So if you want to show that you've sold property, you can share that in your stories. You can talk about the new homeowners. You can take them behind the scenes, and then you can share it. You can keep it as a resource in stories, maybe as a place that says happy customers, happy clients. So people know that you're walking the talk and really selling property. No one is this is not what's in it for you. It's what's in it for the people that you want to do business with. And that's the biggest mind shift that people need to make, especially real estate agents.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Well, we're going to go for our break, folks. We'll come back, give Sue opportunity to change hats. If she we'll be back in a few moments, folks.
John.
Yes.
I want you to stretch the break. Edit this out. So
I'll go get it. You want me to get another hat?
No. So I want to ask you a question before I put you on the spot. I linked an Instagram account to one of the top real estate professionals in the world in the chat.
Oh, let me look.
She is one of my favorite people to refer to when I talk to people about Instagram marketing. She has almost as many followers as you do. So I'm curious if I said, take a look at her account.
I can't see the actual link.
Yeah, her account's awesome, and she's doing it really well.
Do you mind if we go on air and just you make a couple comments about this?
Oh, yeah, no, she's great. I love it. She's fabulous.
All right. John, are you good with that?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Right, ready. We're coming back. Sue's warming up to my humour, my English sarcasm, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure she's used to dealing with much worse people than me. I'm quite friendly, aren't I, listeners of yours? Right, Robert, over to Robert.
Okay, so during the break, I asked Sue if she would take a look at one of my favorite real estate Instagram accounts, which is run by Joyce Ray, who is quite literally a legend inside the real estate industry. I think, if I've got my information right, she is the first woman real estate agent ever in history to cross the $1 billion mark in sales. She is the person that handled the Robin Williams estate when he passed, and she's here in LA where I'm from. She is quite literally, everybody knows who she is. She's been on every news channel. She also, despite being a very seasoned veteran, is one of the first people that I ever saw that really embraced Instagram as a way to market her real estate business. Mm-hmm. And at this point, based on some not so precise data, but I have the impression that she is actually doing business from Instagram in the luxury market in Los Angeles. So I asked Sue to take a look at her Instagram account and give us some thoughts based on what she's seeing as an Instagram expert.
I love her account. First of all, power to the women empowerment. And I love that, age is just a number. It's like, and she's working it and living life full on. And there's a real feeling of the type of properties that she sells. B, her personal life is infused in this in a way that gets me to understand her values, who she is, as an authority. She's a speaker. She's often seen on stage. She's confidently in front of homes. You can see that she respects friends, and she aligns with friends and family. And when the U.S. won the soccer champion, she shared that in a way that was classy with a photo that matched up to the quality of the photos that go with her look and feel. She's a class act. She's doing it all right. I'm going to tap into her descriptions, but in terms of the way that her feed looks and in terms of the way that her bio looks, she's got it all going on. Now, the area that she could improve upon is her description. And because you get 2,200 characters every time you write a description, you can go really deep. So an example of this is 12 hours ago, she shared this post celebrating Windsor Smith's remarkable design and neoclassical villa for sale at the grand opening tonight, a tour de force. Congrats. So that is what she's doing. I want to know more about the property that she's celebrating and the details of that. And there's not enough information in that description. So she could have gone a little bit deeper with that. She only got, she got 114 likes and 1 comment. I'm all about the conversation thread and the comments more than the likes, because, likes can be not hers, but don't believe all the likes that you see, because people do things to get more likes. So I'm all about the conversation. Now, on another post she did, reduced 1244 Moraga, incredible value, set behind the prestigious Bel Air Guard gated community of Moraga Estate rests this opulent classic Italian villa commanding nearly 4 acres on a rear double lot, which is cool, but I would want to know a little bit more about the property. And so this is clearly luxury lifestyle, $1 million properties. She's getting some comments here, but it's from other real estate agents too. So Gordon probably is associated with her. Hidden gem of on a street. So it's the conversation threads that matter most to me. I'm going to just take one on her humanized one here, where she Throwback Thursday with my friends. So I love that she gives us the throwback with her personality. I would again want to know more about what was going on in this photo so that I could feel connected to her a little bit more intimately. So she gets an A+ on her avatar. The fact that she's doing stories, but she does not have any highlights, so she's not saving anything to highlight. She's missing out in that opportunity. She's got a great bio letting us know that she sold nearly $4 million in career sales, and she's been featured on the Today Show, Inside Edition, NBC, CNN, ABC, and international TV. So those are her accolades that she's letting you know that she's walking the talk, and she's the #1 in Southern Cal. So she's doing it all right, but there are things missing that could be improved upon.
What about the tags? I'm noticing that on some there's 6 or 7, on another there's 12, and you have the room for 20.
You have 30 hashtags, and she definitely could be doing more hashtags and doing more niche hashtags with that.
Okay. Thank you very much. I was kind of curious to see what you'd say.
Yeah.
That there is many years ago, I did some business with her when I worked at Agent Image, which was a website company. And even then, her team, the people that I was mostly communicating to, they really were head and shoulders above most other people. Just a small correction for our audience who is doing audio only. The number was 4 billion, not million. So Joyce Ray is quite literally, there are not very many people that have ever sold as much real estate in general as she has ever in the real estate market anywhere. The only exception is New York, where there are people that have exceeded the, I think it's actually 7 billion at this point in lifetime sales. But anyway, here in California, she's the rock star.
That's very cool. I love it. I really do. And it's very inspirational for younger real estate agents to see that and see that she's, she's continuing to work and she absolutely loves what she does, and that shines through.
Excellent. So my question would be this. So we have a brand new agent, which is probably what a lot of our audience is. We do have really experienced, but brokers and people that are really established, I don't find that they listen to a ton of podcasts in general. So I don't know necessarily that's who our audience is. Mostly probably, if I had to guess, 50% of our audience is probably people that are establishing their careers or in the first few years of their careers. So somebody who's just getting started and is looking for some guerrilla marketing tactics they're considering Instagram, you've given some great advice on like how to do their profile. But let's say they're looking at it as, I want to generate business off Instagram and I'm newer in my career. What do you say to them?
Everyone wants to generate business off of Instagram. At the end of the day, everyone wants to make more money. That's, in order to make more money, you have to build trust. In order to build trust, you have to show up as the go-to authority and prove that you walk the talk. Because on Instagram, you don't always believe everything you see. Anyone can post a $2 million house or a Lamborghini and not necessarily own it or sell it, but just show it. So for me, it's all about, are you really walking the talk, and prove it. So I want to see it. I want to see you talking to customers. I want to see that authenticity in stories. If there's anything you need to know about me, I'm walking the talk every day. I'm teaching Instagram marketing every day, and it shows up in my stories. It shows up in my feed, and it shows up in the way that I build community. And I think online, especially with today's modern marketing, a lot of trust is being lost because people are manipulating or not being forthright or honest. And so because of that, it takes longer sometimes to build trust. And, that's the essence of growing a business.
Sure. So I just want to repeat back what I think I heard you say. So you're saying that by walking the talk, you're saying if you're meeting with people and showing them homes, because let's say you haven't sold very many homes, you want to go out and have a camera with you and say, I'm going to show John and Jody Smith a couple homes today. You're going to have the camera saying that you're beating the pavement, trying to work for your clients. Or you're prepping a house, you're staging a house, and you've got your camera with you, and you say, I'm staging my house for X, Y. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean, just take your own phone, your mobile device, and take us with you in an Instagram story.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to see if I understand where you're coming from, because hopefully I'm getting this right. I think what you're trying to hint is that they want to see that you're an active, real agent, that you're out there doing your craft and you're actually getting results for your customers. And for you, it's a way of showing them to get a snap of your day, to get some insight of what you're doing every day. And you need to keep on subject, but you also need to give them that kind of insight, which gradually builds trust. Am I on the right path, Sue?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought you that's what you were hinting. So what you're saying is they don't want to see like pictures of houses you've just sold. Well, you can put some of those, but the actual people that...
No, it's okay to put pictures of houses that you sold, but it's not necessary to put just sold or how much you sold it for. When it becomes like a billboard of sold or the money, it's okay to show the house, especially if it's beautiful, and talk about the house and what's in it for the property owners that, who just bought it. But it's like, talk about why you would enjoy living in that area that the house or the mansion is sold in, and what is in it, like community wise, and talking about historical landmarks or great restaurants or retail establishments. Like it's like, what is it going to feel like to live where you're selling property, right?
Yeah, I understand. So when it comes to the actual volume, if you're in this agent trying to build a brand using Instagram, what kind of volume of content should they really be looking at? You got any kind of advice on that?
Say that again. What?
How much content should they be putting on Instagram realistically to try and build that brand?
I mean, that is a personal preference based on how much time you have to allocate to marketing what you do. Yeah. So time is everyone's biggest excuse, but if you have systems behind content creation and you organize that strategically and not do it on the fly, you can have a very successful Instagram account. And that's what I teach inside of Ready, Set, Graham. SubiZimmerman.com/RSG, which is our signature beginner Instagram course. And for those of you that don't want to invest in learning a step-by-step process foundationally, I also have a YouTube channel, SubiZimmerman.com/YouTube. And when you get there, just hit the bell. You'll be notified when I drop a new video every Monday so that you can learn in 5 minutes a new tactic, a new tip, a new strategy, a new update. And when I go live on YouTube, you can continue to learn and invest in your Instagram marketing.
Yeah, it's a great channel, actually. I've been watching some of your latest content and been enjoying it. And it's really helpful. So I think we'll wrap up the podcast part of the show now, folks. Sue, what's the best way, apart from your Instagram account, what's the best way to learn more about you and what you're up to?
Yeah, the best way to connect with me, and I would love for you to connect with me, is to come on over to Instagram at The Instagram Expert. That's my business account. And say hello and let me know what your biggest takeaway or question is from this interview. And let me know that you came over from this particular interview. Do you guys, what is your Instagram account?
We don't have one for the show, to be quite truthful, but we go on Facebook and YouTube, but I'm going to have to set up the show's Instagram account.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was going to tell them to tag you, but that's not going to happen. So just let me know that you came over from this wonderful interview. As I mentioned earlier, I could talk for a long time. Real estate agents really are one of my favorite markets to teach and talk to, because typically real estate agents do understand the value of investing in marketing their products and services, meaning the houses that they're selling. But the old tedious ways of printing postcards and putting it in a magazine are gone. It's social media in today's modern marketing, and you don't need to spend money because Instagram is free. You could understand how to do Instagram ads, and you could target very strategically and have great success. That's advanced information that I do not teach on a live interview because it's way too much and it's not my wheelhouse. But just to keep everyone excited and to understand that you can have great success on Instagram. And many of my clients have found new customers because they've connected with them personally. And that's the goal, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm going to tag on this blatantly, but I do have an Instagram account.
Oh, there you go.
Instagram/inboundrem/. So I've even got a couple thousand followers on there. Not that I haven't updated it in a little while, but I have an active Instagram account from my company.
There you
Great.
go. So, Robert, what's the best way for people to find more about
Not Instagram. The best way for people to find me is on my website, which is inboundrem.com. And I do most of my content there, and all my social media content is ancillary for the most part. So, which I have content on all my channels, but I prefer that you go to my website.
All right, we're going to wrap up the show. Sue, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your summer, and you have to come back at some stage and have another chat. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Frank, we have another expert like Sue next week, sharing their knowledge and helping you get the business that you're looking for yourself and for your family. We'll see you next week, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, you guys good?